Hey guys, I'm Izdaisho, and I'm here bringing you some magic, and I am a little bit through reading some of the comments on the last deck that I did, which was Avacyn's Glory, and a lot of you guys were saying how powerful the deck was, and my main response to that is that so was Goblins when the game first came out, but once people learned how to play Burn and learned how to play Obedient Dead, Goblins wasn't necessarily the best. I mean, it still was pretty strong and got some free wins, and that was unfortunate. But what I'm gonna hope to show you today is this Burn deck, and hopefully I can convince you guys that this deck might be as good, if not, or it might have a pretty good matchup against the aggressive decks in the format, and I think it's also fast enough to beat the stronger decks. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna say two things. Number one, I just took a look at the land count and I realized that there are 25 in here, and there really shouldn't be, since you can look at the top of the curve. There aren't very many expensive spells, so I'm probably going to find one thing that I can put in, but yeah, I'll let you know what that is. It might end up being Final Fortune. That's the other thing that I'm not quite sure about. I don't know how good this card is in the deck. I don't know if giving you one extra turn for 2 mana is worth it. It might be, it might not be. I think I really just have to try it out in order to see. But anyway, let's get into the deck. So, Grim Lava Mansur. Amazingly powerful card. I don't know if it's ever been in a duels game. I think it was, but I don't remember which one, if it was. But anyway, it's 1 mana, and you can activate this ability whenever you want. It's an instant, and it costs red to exile 2 cards from your graveyard. Grim Lava Mansur deals 2 damage to target creature or player. It's so powerful. If you can just get some cards in your graveyard, which isn't that difficult because you are playing a burn deck, which just has instants and sorceries, and the spells go straight to the graveyard, as opposed to creature decks where it's sometimes hard to get your spells in the graveyard because they go straight to the battlefield and they have to be killed if you want them to go to the graveyard. But anyway, the point is it's pretty easy to get some cards there, and you can get some free burn out of it, and sometimes this thing ends up pinging 2 or 3 creatures and getting them down some life, or just hitting them for 2 unblockable every turn. It's I think it's a really powerful spell. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Here's a card that I made as a late addition, which is Goblin Arsonist, because when you look at Grim Lava Mansur, a card that's been played in Legacy, a card that has been played in Modern, just very strong formats, and it's been really powerful for a long time. And then you look at Goblin Arsonist, which is a mediocre limited card, and they're in the same deck, and they serve not a similar purpose, but they both serve a purpose in that deck, and that is that Goblin Arsonist is there to gum up the ground early game, try and maybe get a 2-for-1 or deter them from attacking based on a 2-for-1, and there's just so many powerful 1-drops and 2-drops in the format that you need to have an answer to them. I mean, if they had Pillar of Flames instead, I would probably be running those over the Goblin Arsonists, but you really just need something to jump in the way, and I mean, if you have one of these out and they have a Thalia on the board, then they might not want to attack you because it'll just get pinged to death. So there's just so many opportunities for Goblin Arsonist to shine, and that's what makes it actually a pretty decent card in the deck, and a really important addition if you want to be beating all those aggressive decks, which is really important. Another thing is the pinging ability. Obviously, you can just use that to shoot any illusion down, and it'll be pretty sweet for you. Anyway, Disintegrate. This is a really important spell, which is obviously, since it deals X damage to target creature or player, so it's just a fireball effect. You can destroy players late game, you can kill creatures early game. It's adaptable, and one of the reasons why it's amazing, 2 clauses on it that are both relevant for duels, which is that the creature can't be regenerated. There's not that many things with regenerate, but there are a certain amount, and people don't necessarily realize that, and they think that their creatures are safe, and then you kill them that way. And it also says if that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So anything that happens, like undying, doesn't happen. Gravecrawler is gone forever, so it's really good against the zombies deck. And one of the more important spells, Pillar of Flame, does a similar thing. It'll deal 2 damage. So you can still regenerate, which is less good, but if it goes to the graveyard, it gets exiled. And this can hit Drolf's Messenger, Butcher Ghoul, or Gravecrawler, so kills a lot of those annoying creatures. It also works on Black Cat. You won't have to discard if you Pillar of Flame it, though I don't necessarily recommend getting rid of Black Cat like that. Anyway, there's 1 Flame Slash, deal 4 damage to your creature. You're playing a burn deck, you want to be able to do that. But I mean, you see this 10 1-drops, it's really 8, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do on turn 1 with this deck. One of the main core one of the pieces of the offensive core, Kiln Fiend, when you cast it, it gets +3/+0. This helps in the matchups like the Eldrazi matchup, when your opponents are just playing gigantic creatures and you need to kill them as quickly as possible. So you can deal some burn upstairs and then get a Kiln Fiend in activation, and you kill them pretty quickly with this thing. There's 3 of them in the deck. Reverberate. This is a card that I've been back and forth on, but with so many unique spells in this deck, you can always find a way to cast Reverberate for some value, and sometimes extremely unique value. Like I was playing against the Zombies deck earlier, and I played Flame Break, which I'll show you in a second, but you should remember from Duels 2013, and Reverberate. So I killed, there was I think only one thing with Undying on the field at the time, but it got killed by the first Flame Break, and then the Reverberated one killed it the second time. So I took out a Grave Titan, a Butcher Ghoul, and maybe something else. But it was pretty sweet, and it also dealt 6 damage to my opponent, so I was able to kill him in a couple of turns. Searing Spear, for some reason they hate me, and they decided to take out almost all of the instant speed removal in this deck, but I mean, they left me with 1 and no lightning bolts. Grr. Wild Guess is an average card. You can discard something that's not too useful for you and draw 2 cards, but there's not much to play in place of it. Okay, sorry about that. We're back though, and the next card is Chandras Phoenix, which is another one of those offensive cards in this deck. It's got flying and haste, and I mean, it's been in the game forever, but whenever it's a 2/2 flyer, 2/2 haste flyer, so it'll deal some damage, consistently 2 damage turn after turn. You can get rid of their 1 or 2 flyers that they have in the way, because I mean, the only thing that's really going to bother you is the illusion deck, and this deck is really good against that one. But yeah, anyway, when you deal damage to them with a sorcery or an instant or a planeswalker, so not something like Sulfuric Vortex, which is important because sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, then this thing comes back to your hand and you can play it again the next turn. And then the other main card other main creature that you have to kill them is Chandras Spitfire, which they keep giving me 1. I can't understand why they're so mean to me. If they had just given me 2 more of these, then this deck would be actually absurd, but it's still pretty powerful. So whenever they're dealt non-combat damage, this is different than the other one. I guess Sulfuric Vortex doesn't work, but Seismic Assault does. Grim Lava Mansur works for this one. It doesn't work for the other one. So there are some, like Goblin Arsonist too, but that's not usually relevant. Anyway, there's some ways to do it. I guess you could Flame Slash your own Goblin Arsonist to deal extra damage to them, and then you get the +3/+0. So you never know, it might work out. But Sulfuric Vortex, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they lose 2 life, or they deals 2 damage to them, and players can't gain life. Basically, is the second clause. They gave me 2 of them, which is nice, and I mean, the card is so powerful on its own. It's sometimes not castable, especially when you're playing against all these aggro decks. But against any deck that has life gain, it's pretty key, and you're going to need to include something like that in the deck. Seismic Assault's just so powerful. If you have extra lands, then you can just ping off some creatures, and it makes it so that late game you never flood, because every single land you draw is a shock. And I mean, I just had a game where I browbeated, and I literally could not lose because I would either draw lands, which I can just throw at their face, or I would draw spells that would kill him. So that was pretty sweet. Unfortunately, they only gave me 1 Flame Break. I seem to remember seeing it a lot more than just 1, but now that I'm looking, they only gave me 1. And that kind of sucks, but it's some mass removal. It's a little bit awkward mass removal a lot of the time, because you want to be, if you're casting a mass removal spell, then they probably have you down to a low life total, but this one makes you lose some more life. But still really powerful in a lot of situations. Flames of the Firebrand, a couple of these, so good against illusions, really good against the humans deck. It'll get you a 2-for-1 a lot of the time if you cast it on time. Browbeat, any player may have a deal 5 damage to her. If no one does, target player draws 3 cards. You really need to pay attention when you're casting this spell. There's a lot of confusing things, but if you just read everything, then it'll explain it to you pretty well. 1 Firewing Phoenix, okay card. Sometimes it'll just kill them out of nowhere, and that's nice. Couple of Chandra's Outrages, some more instant speed removal is nice. Magma Phoenix, I've never been a fan of this card. It takes so long to return it and everything, but at least it provides some way to just stop them from attacking you, or win the game as a 3/3 flyer. Conoflame is a really interesting card because you need to have 3 different targets, so you can at max deal 3 damage to them, but you can sometimes kill 3 of their creatures, which is pretty sweet. Lava Axe, just standard Lava Axe, and it's been in the game forever, and I think it works pretty well in this deck. Sometimes you just need that extra 5 damage. I only included 2 of them. Anyway, Inferno Titan is next. My boy. Love this card. And I haven't played with it yet, but I mean, it's awesome. And the deck slows down, or is trying to slow the game down a bunch, so casting Inferno Titan is a possibility. Hostility, I've never been sure if this card is very good. I think I probably want to take it out, but the main issue is there's not much to put in instead. Fire Servant's okay, and what I could do is take out this Hostility and a land and put in 2 Fire Servants, but then I'm ending 2 5-drops by taking out a couple of lands. What does this even do? Yeah, this deck doesn't run that many creatures, so that's not too useful. Inferno is not good. I wish they had Flame Wave. I don't know why they took away my Flame Wave, but I mean, there are a couple of things that I might change in the future. Maybe taking out Hostility and a land. Yeah, in fact, I'll do that right now, and I will approve this. Izdaisho approved. Take out a land, take out Hostility, and put in these 2 Final Fortunes, and we'll see how they work out. I'm not really sure if it's a good card, or how often you're going to want it, but we will find out eventually. So that's going to be the deck list that I'm going to be rolling with. Not sure if this is going to be my official deck guide, but for now, Izdaisho approved. Anyway, have a nice day, guys. Bye.